Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL predictions segment, I'm going to be giving my analysis and predictions for the 2013-14 NFL Divisional Round playoffs for the NFC. Now, the first game I'm going to talk about, it's going to be San Francisco at Carolina. Now, Carolina finished the regular season second in total defense, second in scoring defense. They gave up only about 15 points per game on average. They defeated San Francisco 10-9 in Week 10. Also, they finished second in opposition rushing yards, 86.9 rushing yards allowed per game. The team has been relentless. They've won 11 of their last 12. Quarterback Cam Newton, though, is going to be in his first career playoff game, but they went 7-1 at home this season, so some things to look at for Carolina. Now with San Francisco, this team finished third in scoring defense, 17 points per game allowed. Colin Kaepernick was held to 16 yards on the ground in the Week 10 defeat to Carolina, and this was at San Francisco. And he only had 4 carries and had the 16 rushing yards. Just, he had the 4.0 average. I think only one rush was for positive yardage. He had the 16, I believe, on 1 carry, and then the other 3 he didn't get any yards. Wide receiver Michael Crabtree, however, did not play in that loss to Carolina. He will be back in this game, and I think could be a very deciding factor in the outcome of this game, coupled with the fact that we look at Colin Kaepernick, and Colin Kaepernick, may not exactly be Mr. Unflappable, but I expect him, with his playoff experience, to have a little more composure about him as opposed to Cam Newton. Cam Newton will have his first postseason game, and Colin Kaepernick is 3-1 right now in the postseason, which would include the loss in the Super Bowl last season. So there's a little more experience involved with Kaepernick, and for that reason I'm going to take San Francisco on the road in a close game. Now the next game, I'm going to take Seattle at home over the New Orleans Saints. Seattle finished with tied their best record, and they finished with the best record in the NFC at 13-3, tops in total and scoring defense. Their cornerbacks are arguably the best in the NFL. They finished number 1 in turnover differential at +20. They were number 1 in opposition passing yards allowed. They dismantled the Saints 34-7 in week number 13. They held Drew Brees to 144 passing yards, and the Saints as a team, they only had 12 first downs. So there's maybe not a lot of reason based on that to give the Saints much hope. However, the Saints still have a very good team despite that loss. Saints, as you know, they came off last week a tough road victory over the Philadelphia Eagles. In this game, they're going to have to contend with a deafening and vociferous crowd at Seattle. Seattle is nearly invincible at home the last 2 seasons, 15-1 record over that period. The New Orleans Saints, before that win over Philadelphia last week, they had lost their previous 3 road games. The Saints finished number 2 in passing offense, but Seattle and New Orleans can both put points on the board. The Saints are obviously going to make adjustments from the last game. I expect this game to be a lot closer than that 34-7 annihilation that took place in Week 13. However, Seattle is on a mission this season. I don't see them going home and be one and done after all they've accomplished this season. Pete Carroll is, I think, somewhat of an unheralded coach for Seattle. I think Seattle at home, they get this done. Seattle did beat the Saints the last time they met them in the postseason, and I think history is going to repeat itself, and Seattle, I'm going to pick them to beat the Saints this week. So anyway, That will conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment for the 2013-14 season NFC Divisional Round playoffs. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be giving my analysis and predictions for the AFC Divisional Round playoffs. Until next time, people, stay well.